The writing thing is kind of new to me. Life throws you curveballs all the time, and this time I didn't duck. So I'm trying writing. Most of what I write is fiction. However, this particular story is not a story at all, but sort of what happened over the last 20 years or so. Anyone who's known me for longer than 5 minutes knows that animals are very important to me and have played a large part in my life. And this is the story of one of those, A Circle of Lives. Mozzie came the day Spot left. I wasn't surprised by the going or by the coming, but the timing turned out just a tiny bit odd. Or perhaps it was the very best way the day could have worked out. Spot was 8 months old when he came to live with my husband and me, and he was 20 years and 8 months when he died. For 20 years, he was a quiet, loving, integral part of our lives. My husband and I had been married for 3 weeks, which was the longest amount of time either of us had ever lived without a pet. Neither of us had ever actually owned a cat, but we both worked all day and we were assured a cat could take care of itself. Besides, our lease said 1 cat. Spot was a shelter cat, given up by someone who wasn't able to find an apartment that took cats. We named him Spot because it was a dog's name, we were both dog people, and because he was striped. Spot's first days as part of our family were a learning experience for all 3 of us. We learned that cats do not come when called. They like to be on top of bookshelves and kitchen cabinets, and under no condition do they feel shame or accept blame. Spot learned that even though he was in a strange place with strange people, he now had a home, forever. Being a shy, retiring kind of cat, Spot spent his first day and night in our apartment, hiding in the covered litter box. A panic call to a cat-owning friend assured us he would come out when he felt comfortable. He did. The next morning I woke up to a pair of green eyes and a gray tabby face staring intently at me. He smelled like Tidy Cat. I invited him up into the bed with me. He slept with me every night I was home for the next 20 years. After that initial breaking in period, Spot enjoyed all the frivolity of cat youth. He got into the stash of rubber bands and spread them across the length of the apartment. He insisted on sitting on the dining room table while we ate. He nearly immolated himself in the fireplace, and he continually launched himself at the picture window chasing the birds and squirrels. We all had a marvelous time. However, everything changes. The apartment became a house. Spot had a new domain to explore. New cats joined our family, first Princess, then Flash. Spot accepted the new cats with a calm graciousness, which eventually became friendship, or at least as friendly as cats are willing to be with one another. The first dog was more of an adjustment, but the quiet, sensible Sheltie believed in live and let live. Spot was fine with that. The second dog served to distract the first dog. There was no unwanted attention directed towards the cats. It was all good. Spot remained a faithful overnight companion. More time passed. Spot became the elder statesman of our eclectic household. We moved to a bigger house. The other cats enjoyed the extra room to roam, but Spot opted to remain upstairs, content to sleep on Mom and Dad's bed. A third dog joined the family. I believe Spot heaved an internal sigh, seeming to understand that this made Mom and Dad happy, even though he certainly viewed the addition as unnecessary. A fourth cat joined the pride. Annie was older than Spot, orphaned by her human's illness. Spot seemed to understand and accepted the old girl's uncomfortable status. In the matter of all things, time took its toll on our family. First Princess passed, crossing over the fabled Rainbow Bridge where our pets await our arrival. Annie followed soon after and rejoined her own human. New cats joined the family. It was Spot and Flash, the old guard, against Xander and Willow, the new kids on the block. A truce was reached. My own great loss came courtesy of a blood clot, which took my husband suddenly and much too young. The dogs mourned and looked out the window for that special someone who wouldn't be coming home this time. The cats were cats. I slept in a bed seemingly too large and empty, except for Spot. I didn't hold him and cling to him at night. That would have been embarrassing for both me and the cat. But I did sleep with his tail held firmly in my hand. Spot never moved or complained. He seemed to understand my need for connection. Spot mourned when Flash crossed the Rainbow Bridge. The last of his pride was gone. The young ones just weren't the same. Buffy then came into our home and joined Xander and Willow. Spot grew solitary and painfully slender. His world narrowed to my bedroom and my bed, but he still ate and drank and watched the birds outside the bedroom window. We comforted one another in the night. It became obvious that Spot's time was short. He fought it, and I fought it, and my vet fought it. But time and nature always win in the end. My vet, knowing me better than I expected, told me about a litter of kittens at the animal hospital where she sometimes worked. I went to look, and of course, I was enchanted. Mozzie came home with me. 2 1/2 pounds of kitten without a fear in the world. I introduced her to the other young cats. She wasn't exactly received graciously, but Mozzie really didn't care. She had me after all. When I introduced Mozzie to Spot, he gave her a very thorough inspection. Apparently, she was deemed acceptable. Spot looked at me, and that one look said it all. Mozzie would suffice, and he could now rest peacefully. Several hours later, Spot chose his place, and he too crossed that rainbow bridge, quietly with dignity. I wrapped him in his blanket and prepared him for his final journey. Then I went to play with Mozzie, who let me know it was all good. Circles don't have breaks in them. I've already learned a lot from Mozzie. I've learned I can't wear dangling earrings, sandals, or shirts with fringe or bows. I've learned it's okay to play with abandon, to be happy with the ordinary things in life, and that everything is going to be okay because she loves me. I hope she lives 20 years.